What is the dream that you're following?
Well, I mean, I started off as a host at B-Roll TV.
Mhm.
I started my own show, and honestly, that was great. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I interviewed artists. I displayed like videos. I got to do a lot of things that I really loved. This podcast now that I'm doing is taking its other level of what I do. It's like making me the Chola Oprah. Honestly,
That's dope. I mean, you got on the watch. That's so dope.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like
That's dope.
I do think it's gonna get to another level. Well, we're in a pandemic, so it's all about like who's gonna survive after this, and who's thriving during this.
Yeah.
You know, and all those opportunities that I used to go to, and I felt like I needed this and needed that. Like I'm at a place where I no longer need any of that shit. Like it's just me. It's the homegirl Fox, and it's my product. And
I love this shit.
And then it's me. And
Get
people have known me for years to chase opportunity and try. And I've built my own name like that. So like the dream would be to come out of this pandemic, getting back to that, but maybe on a higher level. You know, I interviewed artists from doing a lot of things. I worked for Bobby D Presents, and I had to interview all those artists, which is a bunch of concerts of different type of music, and especially like old school artists. There's like funk and oldies, and then also like the 90s and stuff like that. Even like the British Invasion. Like I've interviewed some of those people that I didn't even know, didn't even fuck with, but those things. If I could do that I wanted to be Bill Bellamy.
Oh, okay.
That's who I've always wanted to be.
That's
I wanted to be Bill Bellamy. I watched Bill Bellamy growing up. I saw that he was a good personality and he talked to artists like he was just their homie, and that's what I want to do.
That's awesome. Well, you sound like a professional.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? That's dope.
Thanks.
I love it. I love it all. The energy, the sound, your tone.
Thanks.
I love it. And I love that you're Raza too. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. And that's another thing too, is I wanted to display that a different side of the girls, you know? I don't hear me. I've always gone to radio stations to be. I was on Power at one moment. Like I went to Power in Arizona, and I mean they didn't want me because I'm me. They still want that, you know. That,
what do you mean they didn't want you? Like,
they didn't
what
want.
made you?
I'm not safe enough.
But they told you that? Like, yeah, we don't want you.
I heard the background of it. They don't tell you specifically. People have to tell you in the end. So we were like, oh, well, they saw you with a picture and you had a blunt in your mouth.
Okay.
You know, and they want people who go to, they want people to go to the children's hospital and like, you know, well, I don't work for the radio station. You guys aren't. They send you to the children's hospital. Those girls aren't doing it on their own. You know, like, okay, so I'm gonna get shitted on because I have a blunt in my mouth, but I do a lot of good things. So that's when my head started to change that, like, you know what, and not in a bitter way, but I'm kind of glad I'm not a part of that, because now I have my own stage where I'm still able to do me, be myself, and still get more attention than them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it was worth sticking to myself, but for a minute it'll give you some anxiety, like, fuck, like, should I stop? Like, that was the first thing they asked me, like, when what would it take for you to stop smoking weed? And
Oh,
it's
wow.
like,
Okay.
well, you pay my bills. You know, like there's weed for me is medicine. I'm not like, oh no, I'm done, I'm just a stoner, like I don't do nothing. Like, no, I'm not that stoner. Like, I'm a productive, hardworking ass stoner chick. It's my medicine. It's gotten me by. It's gotten me here, and I don't know if I'd be here without it.
That's dope. When was the first time that you smoked? Like, when did you start smoking?
My first time I ever tried it was like 5th grade.
Okay.
And I tried it for a friend. One of my friends, like, I mean, I grew up in Montebello. So, like, little homegirls, she lost her mom, and she came back to school, and she was, all of a sudden, she was smoking weed, like, as a 5th grader. And I was with her, she asked me if I wanted it, and I kind of wanted to be, like, just there for her. So I just did it, and it had me paranoid as shit. So I didn't do it anymore after that. And then I got to high school, and my, like, junior, senior year, you know, here and there at parties, but right after I graduated, like, a major stoner. It was anxiety, not knowing what I was gonna do, not thinking I could do it. I just was like,
who are you in high school? What's your home like? What's high school like? What's that environment like?
High school, Sammy Jo. I played basketball. I was a 4-year letterman in basketball.
Oh shit, okay.
But I wasn't a good student. I didn't go to school a lot. I wasn't focused. I actually graduated because I was in a continuation school within the school.
Yeah, like a learning center type of deal.
Yeah, it was called Futures. Like they had another name before that. They used to call it Dangerous Minds for us, like to make fun of us. But yeah, it's where all the like cholos and the pregnant girls and not like I was in there. I was in those classes.
What was your home environment like? Did your mom work?
Yeah, my mom
tell me about that. Get me there.
My mom worked a lot. My mom was really never home. Like having time with our mom was like, as soon as she walked through the door and went to the restroom, I'm at the door of the restroom, like waiting for her to come out because she always worked. She worked in a market. She worked at Vaughn's in Compton and South Central, and she just worked these crazy hours. And I grew up. My nana took care of us. My nana was the homeowner. If it wasn't for my nana, we wouldn't even had a place to live. My mom married a man. She married my stepdad. He didn't work at all. So she's supporting 5 kids, a grown-ass man, and my grandma. You know, my grandma was here and there trying to get jobs, but my grandma was getting older. That wasn't working, but, you know, she was the house person, you know, the person at home. I'd go inside, never do my homework, run outside and play. Like, those were those times where you just were outside all the time. So my home life was, yeah, like 7 people in a house, 2 bedroom, hoardered. My grandma was after her parents died, her and her brother lived there. They became real hoarder and they kept a lot of stuff everywhere. So I hated being home. It was rat infested. Like you could hear things crawling up
walls.
The top and the walls, and I never wanted to be home. Broken windows. We were always sick. And yeah, I just was always out with friends, always out with other people's parents. I never wanted to be there. Just when the light came down, I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta go.
Oh, shit, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's where, like, all the freedom that we have is kind of like what raises us, you know? Because it was kind of like that too, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, yeah. I'm all weird now, too, about everything. Like, all the childhood stuff has made me how I am right now. So, like, I'm super responsible. I'm super responsible, whether I have to, especially with money. Financially, like with money, like to me, shit, I don't care what I have to do. I will hustle. I just finished, you know, I've been working at Trader Joe's for, it's gonna be 6 years. I don't work there right now, but I just left. And a lot of people were tripping out because I'd be on different podcasts, different shows, going to Power, doing this and that. And they're like, you still work at Trader Joe's? And it's like, yeah, because I have to pay my car. I don't live at home. I can't live with mom. I don't ask nobody for nothing. Like, I'm a survivor. Like, you'll do whatever you gotta do. I don't care. Like, I could be the hit star or something, but if they're not paying enough, you'll see me at Trader Joe's again. You know what I mean? Because I like to. I've seen too many cars repoed. I've been warned that like the people are gonna come and put cardboards on the, you know, not cardboard, but my nana would always say that, like, the bank's gonna take away the house. The bank's, you know, and you're just like always thinking like, fuck, like, you know what's gonna happen. Like, you just don't know your next move, and I hated living like that my whole childhood. So I'm just like, no, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll DoorDash, I promise.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. I mean, it does give us some like survival skills for sure. You know what I'm saying? Where you have to adapt. You know, like, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So this is dope. You're gay?
I'm bisexual.
Bisexual. Tell me about that. So, just my daughter, she's 14, right?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And she sent me a text with like a little GIF with a person that jumps off the table. It's like, I'm gay.
Oh shit.
And then I was
that's
like,
how she broke it down to you?
she sent the wrong text.
Oh shit.
So I was like, yo, is this like some type of confession? And then she's like, yeah, I'm bi. And so I'm just kind of curious, like, how did you know? How was your whole experience with that? I think that's, yeah.
Okay. I was with men since I've been with men before until I was 19. When I hit 19, I met a girl who was an old friend of mine. We just kind of had like a reunion type of, you know, date. And she told me she was gay. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, that was different for me because I didn't grow up around a lot of gay people. Or I didn't grow up a lot of people who are out there gay. And I would say because probably where I'm from, they don't really put it out there like that. You know, the world is different now. It's 2020. People are just like, I'm gay. You know what I mean? But back then, I'm sure people were hiding a lot of things. So when I started hanging out with her, I just noticed after a while the texts and the vibe was changing. Like I caught myself kind of flirting, and I caught myself flirting, and then I was like, oh shit, like what am I doing? Like I hit up a friend, and I was like kind of weirded out, and I was like, yo, I know I'm flirting, like I'm flirting with this person, you know. And then my friend was like, it's cool, don't trip. Like, I kissed a girl, da da da. Like, I have kissed girls before, but it wasn't like that. It was
I think girls kiss girls like just for like,
because
you know what I'm saying? That without being like.
You know what? When we're young and we're drinking and we're silly and we think guys like the way it looks. Yeah, we're stupid. We do that stuff, but it was never on that level of like making out with someone and thinking it was gonna get to somewhere else.
Yeah, like having feelings for someone. It's more like just
not
like I
was
was
just
just
having
fun.
feelings, but getting to another level of that of intimacy.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
We're just making out. Like fuck.
Yeah.
Like
college girls.
Yeah, like girls fucking
you
go
know
to sleep
what I mean?
cuddling and shit type of deal. Yeah.
It was never like that. But this girl, I guess it was my first introduction to that world, and I fell for it completely.
So you're telling me before that you've never had like feelings where it's like,
no.
Wow.
I've always
never
been.
as a child, never like.
Yeah, okay.
Never.
Yeah, because I asked my little girl, and I was like, "How do you know?" And she's all like, I think she's cute and I like her, but
yeah.
like some little like a specific girl, like I was like,
Yeah, I kind of had to go. Everyone has a different vibes growing up. Everyone has a different thing on it. My thing was I was gonna be a young 19-year-old pregnant girl, you know, and I was gonna be married with my man. And
that was the goal?
That was the goal when I was younger, because that's what you grow up around, and that's kind of what they stuff in your face, and I didn't believe in myself to do anything other than that until I got older, you know, and shit just fucking took a 180, like it changed, you know.
So you're single right now?
Yeah, I'm single right now.
You're single, okay. Mm-hmm. And your last relationship was with a dude or a female?
A girl. Last relationship was with a girl.
How long were you guys with each other?
8 years.
Oh shit!
Long as it? Whoa.
8 years, and she's actually still in my life. I would think that would come back around again.
You cheated?
No, that wasn't it.
No, she cheated. No.
No, I really left because I really felt like
she's holding you back.
I was really done with the relationship stuff. I wanted to do this and only this, and I didn't want to worry about, like I'm telling you, anything that involves relationship, checking in, you know, all that stuff, I was just out. But I think it's really cool that you're okay, that like with your kid, you know, being okay with that. You know, I'm seeing that too. Like my little sister, you know, came out like that, and I'm seeing my mom go through it. And oh my God, I mean, she's gayer than me. Like she's really gay. And I know I'm not. Even me, like I'm just like whoa, like it's so different to watch. But I'm happy because there is a lot of friends that I have who are gay, who their parents kicked them out. Their parents don't talk to them.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Cause
yeah.
we I don't know much about the gay community.
Uh-huh.
We have a couple of maybe gay people here. I don't even know. I don't give a shit. But anyways, but how much of it in the gay community is actually molestation? Like how many people have been molested and turned gay because I got molested by my tío and I don't even want to fucking deal with it.
I got molested by a man and a woman, and I would say that a lot. But I would also say that there is a lot of straight people too that have been molested that don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah, because if I've talked about
I don't think if you get molested that you become gay.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think so.
But if your first sexual reaction is with, let's just say me, if my first sexual reaction is with a guy that took advantage of me, there's something that excites me about that because that was my first sexual relationship.
Yeah.
And now when I get older, it's like, wow, why does this shit excite me? Because I got taken advantage by a guy.
I know gay guys who have been molested by women, and they're gay.
Can I ask you something? You said you got molested. Were those people ever charged?
No.
Have you ever spoke about this? Do you feel comfortable? Is it open?
I feel comfortable.
Okay.
I don't get into detail.
No need to get into detail.
Because these people are still around.
They are. How's that fuck with you?
I think I'd let it fuck with me a lot before, when I was, especially
How old were you, just so we can get an idea?
The first time I was really young. I was probably like maybe 5 through like maybe 5 through like, I probably finally got myself out of that position like maybe like 7 or 9.
How old
You
were
said
they?
by 2 people. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Were they on drugs?
No,
Did they go to jail?
no,
Are they family members?
they're not my family.
How hard is it for you when you see them? Do you still see them? Have you seen them? And what?
I have had to throw that to the back of my head. I had to throw
Why?
that to the because once I had one time I told on the mail,
Okay.
and I was a teenager, and they made me feel like, and they do this all the time, they do this in rape, like I go drinking, and this guy did it, and they're like, well, you put yourself there, or like, they deny it. It's like people.
I mean, at
brush
5 years
things
old, you
under
didn't
the
put
rug.
yourself anywhere. Right? You're a victim.
Absolutely not.
You're a
But
victim.
when you turn around, you tell someone, and you think that you can trust that person to do what is right, and they don't, you really like lose trust in people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care if it's
Without doubt.
family. You don't care if it's nothing. It's just like, damn, like I wasn't heard here. What would make me think that people would hear me there? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I had to do like, I had to get rid of like shame and like what that was for myself. I did all the young drinking, being upset, doing crazy things. I did all that. But I think as the older I get, the more I come to like be forgiving, and yeah. So you know what it is?
That's big of you.
You know what it is?
I don't
if
know.
if I put that out there, I would lose certain people in my life, and I'm not ready to lose them. I have family. It's family. It's definitely family touchy.
That's deep.
And it definitely, it's a big factor of losing my brothers and sisters. And if I lose my brothers and sisters, I'll never be happy.
Your brothers and sisters would side with the people.
I don't think it's a side. I just think I would totally break up a family that I would really cause something. I would cause a big reaction that I no longer need anymore. I don't. It's already. I'm past that.
Okay.
Like I'm past it.
But here's the issue I find with it, right?
What's up?
Here's the issue I find with it, where it's like
I have to deal with all of it.
I can't even believe the shit you have on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even believe being in a room and seeing these people, right?
Yeah.
So, but my problem is this, that maybe you might save another child, because I highly doubt they did it to you, and that was it. We just did it to Sammy, and that was it. Chances are they fucking keep doing it. To this day. I doubt they got better and went to get help, especially if they didn't do time. So, at what point do we go like, yo, I mean, we were just talking about it, I don't know if it was yesterday, where it's like, yo, fuck deporting the immigrants, deport the child molesters.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Deport the murderers.
I agree. I think, well, one of them I think was really young, and I think a lot of kids go through that, and people don't, and I think people do know. I think people do know. Like,
they were your age, or how old were they?
A couple years older than me.
Okay, so like 10, 12?
We were really young. I don't know how old that person was.
Okay.
But I do think that was a young thing that they did that I know they totally regret, one. But the other one is more like, I knew that this person wouldn't touch anybody else because they're actually blood. I'm not blood.
Okay.
So the
person that did it to you wouldn't touch anybody else?
I'm the one in the family who's not blood. There's 2 of us, but I'm the one who had to go through it. Okay. I only have an older sister, so there's no way she went through that. There's no way.
You guys have spoken about it, or just assume?
I assume. My older sister is overweight. She's always been overweight her whole life.
Okay.
And I'm not just blaming it on that, but also too, she was never around as much as I have been. I have been around this family so much that like, it was kind of like, it's unfortunate. I got put in a very unfortunate spot. But I am not blood, so I told my mom when I was when I was a teenager.
What'd she do?
She asked this person about it,
And they denied it.
and they denied it because I was upset at this person at that moment when I said it. But I was upset because I realized, see, some things happen to you as a kid, and you don't really know until you're older. You know, you start experiencing things, and you're like,
that
wait a
wasn't
minute.
right. That wasn't
exactly, and that's what happens
because it's done all like, you know what I'm saying? Like how you said, it's like it's manipulated, and you're like you're a kid, you don't even fucking know.
Exactly. I got manipulated as a kid, thinking I was doing something else, and I was not doing that. When I realized when I got to my teenage years, where I started to become intimate with someone, it was like it just took me right back there, where I was like, oh shit, like
that's
right. Fucking disgusting. Like, what the fuck? Like, wait a minute. Like, and a lot of people go through that. You know, a lot of people forget that they've been molested.
Because his girlfriend,
it's like it's a traumatic. Like you're just like,
they're 18.
You don't know. And yeah, I know someone who I spoke to on one of my shows. He does an organization called for the Miracle Warriors, and it's for people who have been, you know, molested or sexual assaulted, and who could never talk about it and could never say it, and it's them just fucking saying their story finally, you know. And for him, he doesn't have any recollection of that happening as a child, but once someone told him, it all came back. You know, and there was some parts of it where he said, like, even just some of his good memories came back as a kid. So all that shit was erased. I talked to a child therapist, one of my friends, another episode I had, and she explained to me about how I am and the way I am, and why I remember my childhood so vividly, and it's because of that stuff, and it's because that stuff has got me like this. This is why I talk the way I talk. This is why, you know, this is why I'm so open. This is why I'm so aggressive. This is why I'm not afraid.
Did they ever apologize to you?
Yes.
They did?
One of them, yeah.
How old were they when they apologized?
I was already an adult. But I honestly, there's one I forgive, and there's one I hold a
It's boy and girl, or boy and boy?
It's boy and girl. But there's one I've already forgiven, and I'm never forgot, but like there's one I forgive, and it's kind of like I just kind of took it for what it is. But the other one is like, no, I'll never forgive, and I have to live with this in order to keep my family, but I don't really have to fuck with this person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't show this person, like, I don't walk into that room and go, oh, hi, and like give them hugs. No, I don't hug them.
Damn, so you see them on the regular?
I don't see,
somewhat.
Well, if I see
Their
my family.
Yeah, if you see your family, they're there.
If I see my family, yes.
God, how many kids are going through what you go through?
There's probably a lot.
There's probably a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a lot.
There's so many people that don't want to talk about these things. So honestly, it's just like something that, you know, like a gay guy who doesn't say he's gay. Like, you just don't talk about it, so you don't know. Like, there's people who have been through worse. There's people, and like I said, you know, with the whole abortion thing and bringing that back real quick, it's just like, yeah, you're going to put these kids in foster care, but like, they're with a bunch of strangers.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably going through some crooked ass shit and living in hell. A lot of them, especially foster care.
I have a brother who's in foster care, and I mean, I think he got adopted. I don't know, I haven't seen him. I have the dad side too. You know, my dad had a lot of kids too. So like, I don't even see that side, but I can't tell you what they go through.
What was the excuse that person gave you when they apologized? Like, what was their, like,
honestly,
oh, my bad? Or was it
honestly, it was a sorry that I knew it was for that, but it was no discussion. It was a sorry that I knew it was for that. And that's the way it goes.
Okay.
He hates this show.
Clearly.
Cool.
Drew opened it. Sammy.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to address that shit. I don't know how you can be in a room. I might just lose my shit one day and stab someone. Like,
it's a lot of, you know what?
That's so much to carry.
It's a lot of self-work. It's a lot of self-work. And
you talk about calling shit how it is. You're tough. You're this. And here you are in a room with your family, with your molesters, just not to ruffle everybody else's feathers. So Sammy has to carry that burden.
It's not for everybody else. It's not to ruffle up. It's not to ruffle up my brothers and sisters. you here. You guys don't know what I've been through. And I have specifically said with that person. And so I know that they might have an idea, but it's almost like a sacrifice. I'm sacrifice holding all that so that way they can be okay.
It's like a lose-lose.
Sacrifice. I don't know. I commend you
Yeah,
for that. You're stronger than I am, because I would probably fucking lose.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I've had moments of, I think, getting very close to those points, but when I think, and it will. When I feel like, when I feel like that could be an open discussion to talk about it without hurting anybody, I will.
Yeah.
But I'm strong enough to hold it for myself. And when
that's definitely a weight that you need to get off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, because it's like,
oh yeah,
dude,
I talked to someone who was like,
you can't carry that because that's not right, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's a weight that you give to them, and this is your weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gotta live with that because fuck that. You know what I'm saying?
What? That's the thing I go by too in life. Period. Everyone has to live with what they did.
You have to karma, dog.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
and I would say that karma has definitely touched this person more than once. And I have never,
And you're sure this person isn't doing it to anybody else?
I'm sure. I'm positive.
Okay.
Yeah, trust.
Trust in the person.
I trust.
Trust that the person that did something to you did it to nobody else.
I trust it, yeah, because this person, it's not like that no more, you know? Times have changed. I'm not that little girl who has to be babysat anymore. Like, I'm not. You know,
it happened while you're getting babysat? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did your mom feel guilty? Of course.
I don't know what my mom thinks about it now, but I'm pretty sure she feels guilty. I'm obviously sure. Like, I wouldn't even say like, you can't. I'm not a mom, and moms have a certain type of love, and I can't deny that my mom doesn't love me, but she definitely made a bad choice.
It's probably just, she probably didn't have an option. It was probably situational. Sounds like she has, you know what I'm saying? She has to, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying?
And then you know what? Yes, and I know you're thinking no.
No, I'm not saying, I'm not saying they should have never done that. I'm saying, but it's like, what are your options?
I don't know your life.
It's kind of like Leslie's story, if you listen to that episode. Like Leslie came out and she said she was gay, and then when her mom's man had a problem with it, she left the man.
Yeah, that was dope, right?
That was dope.
Super
and
dope.
that's why I had really commended that, because it takes a lot for a woman to leave, a situation because of something they did to the daughter.
Did your mom ever apologize to you?
No. But she did. We had a moment where she kind of I think she kind of acknowledged it by telling me her own situation in that, of what happened to her.
So she went through it as well.
Yeah.
And the cycle continues.
And the cycle continued. Yeah. But now things are different. This person can't touch anybody. There's no one to touch.
Okay, I don't know the circumstances.
They're
in jail?
No, they're just, it's just, I'm not blood. Like I said, I was the one who was not blood.
I don't know. Some of it seems kind of like, I don't know, you make it, I don't know that they give a shit what's blood. I feel like it's a little demented.
I believe they do.
They do?
I believe they do.
Okay, so I don't know the situation.
Put it this way. They have blood
and they
spend.
Them anyway.
They have blood and they spend. No, not defend. I just because I know what it is. It's like this person spent a lot of time with me, and they don't get to spend that time with nobody like that no more.
Like they're not in the situation where you know what I'm saying. Like they grew out of they're in a situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they really got to go out of their way to get another fucking. You know what I'm saying?
It would never fly.
Yeah. Their lifestyle doesn't.
And in these times, it would never fly. And the people that are the kids that have been around or whatnot, like, nah, it would have never been like that. Never. But I got put in a place where it's like you don't have anybody. I couldn't go to my dad and be like, Dad, this happened. Can you do something?
Yeah. How much older were you? I don't know if you guys said
2 years.
2 years older than you?
7, you said?
7 years older?
A little bit older.
You were 5 and they were.
When I was to one person, the girl was younger, like a couple years a couple years older than me. I can't really tell you. Like,
And the guy
I was
was
5,
the guy?
she was like 10 or 11 or something.
the guy was what?
He was already an adult.
Oh, so it was an adult.
Yeah, he was an adult.
Oh, I thought it was children. Like
No.
my understanding was it was two. So it was one guy doing it to two girls. Then
No. One girl.
I mean, she was a child with
I
you.
was molested. I was molested by a girl, and I was molested by a man.
But at the same time, you said.
Different.
It was around that time of my life when I was little. It was around that
Oh,
time.
okay, but separate occasions.
Definitely separate.
Oh, I got you.
They don't know that they
I
both.
got
No,
it.
but
You know
but
what I
the
mean?
the girl was just a couple years older than you, and,
Yes.
and the guy was an adult. You were
Yeah.
5 and he was a man.
You don't-
And you know what's crazy about that is that we talk about how you said how it pertains to me being gay.
Yeah, right.
You
I
know
mean,
what? with
coincide.
the girl, I got to where I was like, no, like, no, that's uncomfortable. That's
It's not right.
I know this is wrong.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And with the man, it was more like I didn't know I was doing something that was wrong until later.
What made you a target? Because I know I hear like kids say like usually when it happens once, it happens. Is that the only 2 times it happened to you, or happened more than that?
It sounds
I
like
know Oprah, right?
it sounds like
Oprah
it was a
talks
period
about-
of time, right? It was like a
Yeah,
period of time.
exactly.
It wasn't like a
Period of
one
time.
time. It was like
Yeah, it was
wow.
like a period of time. It was like, yeah, it was through in my childhood. It was like from 7 maybe to 9, like from 7 to 9, certain things would happen, and it wasn't like all the time, but
Mhm.
it was consistent enough to be disgusting.
Do
Obviously,
you have flashbacks? How often do you think about it?
I only have flashbacks of the man.
Hmm.
I don't ever have flashbacks of the girl because I know that I have friends and we have big discussions and we're pretty clear on things and you'll hear once in a while like whether it be their kids or it be their brothers and sisters like, oh man, what's my brother got caught doing this to that little girl. And that's a very common thing no one talks about.
But I
Little
agree.
boys and little girls
But
doing
someone
things,
did
you
it
know?
to that, and that's what I'm saying. Where it's like
And
a
someone
chain
probably,
reaction
and you know what? Someone probably did it to her.
to them. So they go, oh, this is how you act, and they go and they do this with someone else, and they go to
Exactly.
and the
Yeah,
chain
yeah.
continues.
Exactly. If this person shows you how to play house, that's the way you think you're supposed to play house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're kids and you don't know until you finally are like, no, that's not right.
So after that period of time, it never happened again
With the girl, no.
with the guy.
It stopped when I got to.
Right.
I started. You know what? I started to get uncomfortable, but I didn't know if it was wrong or not. I just started getting uncomfortable.
Because it feels good. That's
You know
what
why?
they say, right? It
No,
feels-
not because it feels good. It's because this person kept started to make me feel like we had to be excluded
That goes-
while we did that, and that's when I was like, that's kind of fucking weird.
Like a
And
secret.
this-
It was like a secret.
Yes,
like it felt like
don't
wait.
tell
what?
your mom because your mom's gonna get jealous. Don't
So-
come on, let's go to the room.
Hmm.
Like, why not out here? Like, obviously something.
Like it's
you
not
know
a
what I
game.
mean?
It's not a game. It's
And
it's,
as older as like got, the more I was just like, wait a minute, like that's kind of fucking weird, you know? And I was like a kid, but I knew that after a while, like, so I would start doing what I started to do was avoid it. I'd be like, no, like I don't want to, like no, you know? And that's what gave me like, no, I don't want to.
How often do you have flashbacks? Do you think about it every day or no? That's not.
No, I don't think about it every
At all?
day. I think there was a time where I definitely would think about it a lot.
Okay.
Because it was more like, especially like if someone hears you out and then they don't do nothing about it, it definitely real plays in your head. So
Mhm.
after like, yeah, definitely throughout all high school, after high school, like I said, like I think I drowned myself in it. I think you go through all kinds of shit. But I think through talking to people, definitely probably from my ex, like showing me like love and hearing me and listening to that and being able to talk about it, you know, you get to different levels when you're able to discuss things and someone believes you,
Mhm.
you know. So
Does the apology from your mom mean anything if she were to come in?
absolutely, oh, of course. But I do know it's kind of like knowing without hearing it. You just know.
You just
That's probably a really hard thing for her,
Yeah,
you know.
that's probably the hardest thing
Yeah.
in her life to, like, you know what I'm saying?
For
Maybe
sure.
she doesn't want to face
Especially
it, you know.
Exactly.
It's like that's That's bad, dude.
I don't think
You know
it's.
what I'm saying? As a parent, you're like,
Yeah,
what
I
the
don't
fuck did I do? Or like,
Yeah.
what could I have done? And then it's like one of those things where it's like, there's nothing I could do right now. That
Not anymore.
it's done.
Not anymore.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, there's
Do you
nothing.
regret what advice do you have for that little girl that's going through the same shit you're going through right now, or that you
Tell
went through?
somebody else.
Tell someone.
Don't tell your mom.
Yeah, I probably would.
Like looking
I
back,
think-
you're like, fuck, I should have, whatever.
Yeah, I should have. First of all, I should have said it when it happened.
Okay.
I definitely should have set some boundaries when it happened. But also, too, damn, can you imagine if I said it as a teenager, and then they turn around to say like, oh, she's mad at me, so of course she's saying that. Like, of course she's making up shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I wish I would have said it as a little girl. It probably would have came off different because you know kids don't. I mean, some kids lie, but
Yeah.
you would have
Yeah.
known, like,
I
what
think-
the fuck?
yeah.
Like, that's weird. If I would have done and been like, look, this is what he makes me do, they would have been like, what the fuck is that?
I say
You know?
I say something like that. You would tell like a principal and a teacher and tell your mom, you know, because
Tell anybody.
no, I'm saying because
Yeah.
you tell your mom because like
Yeah.
a kid, it's like you're wild, you're like
Yeah.
fuck, you're like you're running to, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, I knew I could have, like, I was like, I even thought about it later, like, you know, I could tell, like, my uncle, you know, but, you know, too,
that's
like,
what I'm saying. Like I
None
think
of your
a
uncles-
school would take it super serious,
no,
bro.
Nobody, once they found out, has jumped up to defend you and
Nobody
knocked
really
the
knows.
motherfucker out. Like, I don't know. Like, if you told me and I was any related to you,
yeah,
I'd be on that fool's ass probably every time I saw him.
you know what, there's not a lot of men around,
Ah.
there's not a lot of men around, and too, like I said, I could have told, like, an uncle, but my thing with
Men
my
are
uncle,
important, huh?
well, my thing with my uncle is I didn't want him to kill him, you know, I was like, let me save my uncle from
a life sentence.
killing someone, you know, like,
Dog,
because
yeah.
it wasn't that, I
There was-
never
yo.
felt like, I never felt like I want this person to die. I
Yeah.
have never felt like that.
Mm.
I just think like you're fucking wrong, and unfortunately I have to live with it. But you're a piece of shit, and you're gonna die a piece of shit. You know, like that's just
Some
in
people
my,
that's
in
some
my
people
head. You know,
some people will
Here's the
fucking
thing.
snap off that shit and that's
I thought it
legit,
was
bro.
child on child, which happens a lot as well. But the fact that it was an adult doing it to a child,
Mhm.
it's, and I want you to mark my words,
Mhm.
it's 100% happening, if not right now, it's happened to multiple girls.
Mhm.
And I think at some point somebody's gonna have to stand up and say, yo, that motherfucker,
Piece
like,
of shit.
piece
Yeah.
of shit, and everybody should know he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I get it. I just
Like-
know that I just know once for a long time I was the only one around. You know,
Yeah, I get it, but when's the last time you spoke to him?
him.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I don't really speak to him much.
So you don't know what's
But I've
going on
been
in his
around.
life, you don't know who he's around, you
Yeah,
don't know.
I do. Cause
You do?
yes, I do. It's really hard to say without saying who he is.
Okay.
But it's like I do. I absolutely do. And if I ever
Why do you
got,
protect your, why do you, I guess I don't understand
I have to protect my brothers and sisters.
it's more about your brother, not about
100.
protecting that guy.
I don't
Yeah.
protect him at all. I just if you get to a place where someone already the most important person in your life didn't protect you, you move on. I've been going through this for years, obviously. So there was a time where it was very, very evil. It was very like, I didn't talk to this person, didn't nothing. You know, couldn't be around this person, wanted to kill this person
Yeah.
at one point,
I mean, fuck.
you know. But I also had to go through, I'm telling you, I've done a lot of self-work where there is things that are gonna happen in your life and you might not be able to control it the way you want it. You know, I can't. There's a lot more that I've gone through than that.
That's
So
nothing?
no, it's
Like
definitely one. It's definitely up there.
Did it happen ever after that? Because I know Oprah talks about it happening 3 times
No.
or something like that. No, that was it.
No, that was it. That was it.
I mean, that's a lot, bro. When it's like
I'm
from
not saying it's
from
not, but I'm
five
just
sets
curious,
for when it's like a whole
5 to
time.
9?
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous, dog. It's from like a one-time deal to like this is happening to me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no,
That's
it
like
is.
not that one-time deal is not.
Yeah.
But that's like fucking
And it stays
traumatizing,
with you.
dog.
It'll stay with you.
You know what I'm saying?
It'll
There's
stay with you. Your
fuck.
whole upbringing. It'll stay with you. You'll have it's in the back of
and
your head.
What did
yeah,
your
and that's
ther-
not like
what
that.
did
You
your
don't get
therapist
nothing
tell you?
good out of that shit.
You
It's not
said
like
you talked to your therapist.
I don't have a therapist.
Oh, okay. Well, you mentioned therapy somewhere.
Yes, because I will talk to people who have whether it's they've been to school for certain things, and they, you know, I've had little chit chats with them where I'm interviewing them and then I get into my stuff, and even off camera where we'll talk about it, and they have, you know.
And what was the advice?
For sure, it's put this fool away, you know.
Oh,
for
yeah?
sure,
Okay.
that's one of them.
I'm not the only.
No way, absolutely not. It's right for you to think that way, completely.
I want them out. I want them all out. I
Yeah,
want them out of society.
I get it.
Like, yo, one by one, kick them out.
I totally get it. But also too, like when I talk about like even self work, like a lot of that comes from me and my relationship with God too.
So you're religious.
I'm religious to an extent. I have a big relationship with God.
Does
That's
God
awesome.
I don't say I'm Trump Christianity, you know what I mean? But I grew up. My grandma was always in the Catholic church. I didn't even know what they were saying up there. I only went for the food. And then I became a Christian, and I really could understand what my pastors were saying. The messages were much more clear. The messages were relatable to me. And that's where I found myself into the Christian church.
So you're more Christian.
I'm definitely more Christian,
Okay.
but I mean,
What
obviously
does-
I'm gay. Like, you know, it's to say
Nah,
I'm religious.
but you know what I'm saying. I mean, you can't go
you know.
based on everything that the Bible says. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but there is.
But there
I
is
also,
there is God and something bigger out there. I think.
Right,
for
but
sure.
I also have to like acknowledge the way I do it, because I can't. I'm not gonna let a Christian come at me and be like, "Well, the Bible says," you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
the number one
I'm
thing
a
I think it's a
Christian.
relationship with God.
That's what it
You know what I'm
is.
saying? You
And
don't
that's
need
what I go by.
everything else. Like if you want to go to church to be part of a group and worship
and
is all
judge each
good
other
and all that.
and
What-
Yeah, but
do
you
the
can't.
opposite of what Christianity
You can't base.
is.
Yeah, you
Sure.
can't base people God off people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
People
no.
will change. You know.
Yeah, I definitely have a big relationship with God. I talk to God a lot, and I have been there. I have cried it out. I have said what I said, and I have
Do
been
you
exhausted.
question
God's good.
God's existence if you're like, yo, how did you let a little child get taken advantage of?
No,
No?
I don't, because it happened.
There's bad
it's-
people. It's
this-
good and bad, bro.
We come out. You know, we're born sinners. We're born sinners. Everyone born. No one in this
No.
room can't say they've ever sinned.
Of course.
Agreed. But
You
I've
know what I
never
mean?
fucking touched a child.
No,
So
but
it's a big
but
difference.
dude,
There's
there's
a-
good, there's good and bad, and that's evil as fuck.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? There's good and bad, and that's evil as fuck. People run around in this place and you know what I'm saying?
And
Pick
what
a
God will
choose.
do, and what God will do with them, and what God will do with
Do-
me, it's two different things.
So,
you know?
do you
Does
believe?
that person go to hell then, according to your beliefs?
I mean,
I think his hell's gonna be here too.
It will depend on what he's apologized behind closed doors for.
So
I
if
don't
he-
know.
if he-
I don't know if he's talked to God and he said like,
I'm sorry?
I'm fucking disgusting. I messed up. It's eating me. Please forgive me. I don't know if he's ever had that conversation with God. I would never even ask him.
Easy how you justify. I feel like it's like a straight justification. Like you make reasons for like defend. You sit here.
I'm
And
not
protect the-
defending him.
No, but in a way you are. It sounds very
I'm
like, but
keeping
you won't say
that
his name.
story from
Not that I'm
hurting
asking you.
people I love.
I
as
get
of
it, but
now.
it's hurting you, and I don't think. Even though you say it's not hurting you, it has hurt
I'm
you.
not saying that
And it
it's
might be
the
hurting
thing-
another child, and that's the. I think we're at the best time where it's like you could literally grab the camera and be like, "Yo, I just want to come out." Blah blah blah, and you know the cameras are being turned on the cops, and I think that's the best weapon we have on the cops.
Yeah,
yeah.
Right? And I think same thing for all this bullshit that's
Yeah.
happening.
It's
It's time to
scary.
out the
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah. I think. I mean, it's because you're.
No,
it's
you
gonna
can-
be. It's
you can
gonna be.
totally do that.
It's gonna be a fucking bomb and chaos. That's where it's
gonna be
at.
a bomb chaos.
That's where it's at. It's like, oh shit. There's no way around it. Once the shit goes off, it's fucking.
It's
Nothing will ever be the
Work.
same again.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a big.
But you know what?
It's a hard pill
Yeah.
to swallow.
But
It's a
the
hard
bomb
one
needs to
to
go off because I mean, for you know what I'm saying? Nothing was
You
ever
know
the
what?
same for you.
If I was really hateful right now, if I was an alcoholic, if I was unable to live with what's weighing on me,
Yeah.
then I would feel more obligated to let it out, despite how anybody feels.
You're just strong. It made you. I mean, you know what I'm
But
saying?
I've just been living with it so long
Yeah.
that like there is a strength in
But it's-
holding
yeah.
it.
We can agree
You know
to
what I mean?
disagree. I think we're not
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I've never
okay.
been through it, so it's
It's
easier
so
for me to
okay.
speak on
For
it.
sure.
Right?
It's definitely like
For
a,
sure.
a leaking
I-
faucet, though.
For sure.
You know what I'm
If this
saying?
would have been, if this would have been a family friend, it would have already been. I would have said it. This
So
would
it's
have
a
been.
family member.
It's a family member that's not blood through me.
Okay.
They're married into the family. They're like,
Yes.
they're, you know what I'm saying?
So there, it's just like that. Like, and like I said, like if I wanted to, if I was living in all that anger or sadness or it just was too much, I would fucking say it because I would have to get it
I
out.
think you do gotta accept the fact that it's happening to other children, and it's happened. He's done it to multiple people. He did it to a 5-year-old, Sammy. Like this wasn't like
I don't know if he's
I'm
ever,
18 and she's 16. Like, all right, fine.
I can only
right?
I can only say that I know the routine of what this man has to live through to know that he can't do it to anybody around him, like right now, or he hasn't been able to. Or no, he's not. This man doesn't have his own place. This man doesn't have he's around a lot of people. And I'm telling you, I was the one who was not blood.
So he's cured. Can you be cured from that?
I don't know what he's taught. I don't know what he has. It's always gonna be for me like what he's discussed with God and himself. You know what I mean? I would say that his life has been tortured enough. I've seen things that he's gone through that I'm like, that was on you. Like you get what you get.
Is he blind?
No.
Oh.
No, he's not blind.
Where'd that come from? How'd you get that one? You know, the sound effects for that shit were allowed to super left field.
There's Stevie Wonder. I didn't see that coming.
Well, he sounds like he can't do it to anyone else, and I'm just speaking for
his lifestyle.
I don't want to get
like his
into
routine.
my lifestyle, but my girl has some issue like this. You know, it wasn't my girl, but one of her family members, and the uncle comes. I'm like, yo, I don't ever want that fucking, like I heard what it came to my attention. I was like, I don't want that motherfucker around my kids. I don't want my kids shaking his hand. I don't give a fuck. Like there's tons of people. I don't want him around me.
That's cool. That's good. And honestly, fuck, wish it was an uncle, but
And he was blind. He was blind, so
I would have been
that's why. To answer your question, he's blind. He has that.
That was just like random ass thought. Like,
Yeah.
is he blind? What the fuck?
One eye.
Yo, dude.
Yeah,
this is
no. If it was a person that I could definitely out. If it would have been an uncle, if I could have, if it wasn't as close as it fucking is, I would have been able to say it. And it just.
You're just not there yet. You're not there.
I'm not there yet. But
And when
I know,
you are.
But no, dude.
I know
thank you so much for opening up. And
Yeah,
I say like that's
huge.
very very vulnerable, but I think it's very important.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I think
Gangster.
no, dude,
Gangster.
yeah, and I think you're in a healing process. And I definitely think it's still affecting you.
Yes.
And just how you talked about the abortion and made you feel better. I think this is gonna make you feel 1,000 times better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you add him out, the next time you see him, can you come back and then fill us back in?
Yeah.
Dude.
I hope you guys are still going.
Oh yeah, we're going all the way.
And
We're
you know
going all the
what?
way. We got like microphones.
And you know what? I'll be on time.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
I'll
yeah,
make sure
hey,
we communicate the correct
can you
time.
apologize one more
I
time?
did apologize.
One more time.
I am sorry on behalf of
Thank you.
So for his miscommunication to what time we
It's
were
all
expecting.
Dude, thank you so much. Like I said, I didn't know what we're gonna get into. I love your vibe. Like I said, you
Thank
sound
you.
like a true
I
professional.
appreciate it.
Anything
you
you
for
You
gotta
do a very good job too.
plug in our.
And for you, I don't even know if you do this shit. You do very well.
I just.
I know you're.
I'm actually no.
You're good. You're really good. Every show needs well, not every show, but a good show to keep you on your toes. Definitely needs a devil's advocate.
This was definitely the devil.
But I almost want to start this show to. I'm very opinionated. I have my motherfucking beliefs, and it's gonna be really hard to shake me from that. But I almost want to have this show to interview people and try and understand the other side.
That's what it's all about. The Honestly podcast, that's what they are. To get that different, you don't believe in aliens, but you heard Joe Rogan, you're like, what the fuck?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
I do. It's changing people's perspective by hearing their actual story.
Yeah, let's not get into aliens up another hour.
I had a lot of men reach out to me about the abortion episode, and it totally switched their brain around.
Oh yeah.
And they're like,
For
dude,
sure.
like I didn't even know I need that. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You made me see it in a whole different light.
Mhm.
So it's vulnerability. It's gonna change the game for everybody.
Awesome.
Maybe even you.
Dude, I think we're good. I think this was a good. We're gonna come into the session, but
Super dope, Sammy. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
opening up.
Of course.
Yeah. Anything you want to talk about just before you leave? Nothing.
Just make sure people are following me.
yeah. Where can they find you?
At Sammy Jo The Fox on Instagram, and I'm getting back on Snapchat because I realized
Really?
IG stole us. Yeah, man, Snapchat is way more fun than
I
IG
never got
stories.
into it.
Yeah.
What about
They're
TikTok? No
just
TikTok?
you're a fool on Snapchat, and that's who I am.
Yeah. How about
So-
TikTok?
What about TikTok?
I
That's
have
where
not
we're fully
done.
now.
I have not
Tap
done
into that.
TikTok.
Tap
I know,
into
you
that.
know
It's actually like I
I
thought the
really need
same.
to.
Yeah, I
I
thought.
really need to. But there's so much now
it's so creative. It would
the
be
reason I
perfect
left
for you.
Snapchat is because IG started IG stories,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't realize I was just being lazy. I didn't want to post a story on Snapchat, then I have to post a story on IG, then I have, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, it's work.
I barely got on Facebook because I'm like, you know what? IG is the tool.
I think TikTok would be great for you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool.
Especially
Yeah.
it's crazy once you go to TikTok and then you go back to
If you're
Instagram.
wild-
You're like, oh, what the hell? Like it's
Yeah,
way more
right, too.
entertaining. There's creative ass people.
It is really funny. Yeah,
Very
yeah,
creative people,
no,
and I
for
think-
sure. But yeah, follow me at Sammy Jo The Fox, and follow my podcast at The Homegirl Fox, or you could just find it on Apple or Spotify, The Homegirl Fox.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much. Let's give a round of
Thank you.
applause. Yeah, that's dope. Hell yeah, that was dope.
Hey.
Oh, that was dope, dude. That's awesome shit. That was dope.